What is going on, guys? Steve the Canadian coming at you, and we are back with part 2.
Oh my goodness, oh my damn, oh my goodness.
Of putting this bad boy together, and that is the turbo and getting it running. But I'm going to be upfront and honest with you guys. There's only so many times you can film this. So, after changing the design and doing it 35 different times, I'm just going to make this video. Because, yeah. So, let's get into it. Alright, guys. So, basically, after about 7 minutes of explaining myself, which was kind of pointless, and then doing all the work and then changing it all, here we are. So, to start with, I spent way too much time explaining to you guys what I was going to do. And in this one, we are going to get that thing running again. Why? Because I wanna. Then after that, I spent way too much time changing around what I had already shown you guys was on the bike. I already went ahead and clocked it, which means I turned the compressor wheel to the direction that I want it to go. And I guess we've also been over, is the propane regulator. You'll notice that it is just mounted on one part so far, and then into the old intake she goes. Now, the figuring out of the mounting of this, that's obviously on the machine. So in this video, I'm just going to show you the nitty-gritty of where we're at, what's going on, and then a couple clips in between of what I did, because it's pretty straightforward. So one of the very first things we did was we cut off that exhaust pipe, and we got her mounted to the turbo. So that's the supplied bracket that I got. You know what? I already fucked up. Step 1 was actually getting this thing to fire up to make sure that it still ran. And with that, we got it just to fire up on propane, and we went from there. So after that, we went to the turbo, that was number 2. Got the exhaust installed and everything welded up, and then we got this all put together. Yeah, and now I'll show you where we're at with the new intake. So after I got all this installed and the propane line ran down, I started fiddling with it. And I started fiddling with it without the turbo first, and then I moved into installing the Whirlybird. As you guys can see here, it actually turned out pretty nice on the front of the motor. So let me just show you here. I'm just going to show you guys here where I'm at with running it. I got the battery all charged up, and this morning it turns over. We'll go out over that after I turn it over here, and I'll show you what it's doing on propane right now, and then yeah, we'll go over it. And basically that's where I'm at with that. So I tried to run this thing on gas a couple times before, and I couldn't get it to fire up at all, but I got it to fire up on propane now. So I'm thinking maybe it was a wiring issue before, but the starter solenoid keeps on giving out on me. I was out here for probably 3-4 hours last night, hand turning the bitch. That ain't fun. It ain't gonna fire up by hand, that's for sure. Not if it ain't firing up this way. So that's where I'm at with that. The basics of where this is going is handled, because this doesn't get in the way of anything, this route, and I will be able, this carb can run on a bit of a side, like even if I'm running gas, it can run slightly tilted. So being here, I can get it directly to the turbo. And the turbo, I need to add some brackets in the bottom because it's not staying where it is. I don't think the exhaust was meant to bolt up that way. I think it goes a certain direction. But as for now, the turbo's on in its place. I decided not to go in the back just simply for the fact of too much to route with the airbags there. When I put it all in, there wasn't enough room. So turbo's on, carb's on. We know the motor runs. Running a small 4-stroke like this on propane to begin with takes some tuning and some time. But I got the proper equipment, and I just got to take the time to do it and get it running right. Worst case scenario, I'm going to, instead of using a bottle, I'm just going to put the gas tank back together, put it on top, and gravity feed down to the carb. If I can get it running on gas again, then I'll work from there, because I want to move this thing by the end of the month. And then we'll have a good idea anyways on what the horsepower is, because it'll have more horsepower on propane, but if I can't tune it to run it, well, shit, there we are. So this is part 2 of this. Turbo's on, carb's in place. We'll work everything out after we move on, but there's other things to do. I'll give you guys a sneak peek of the front end and why that video didn't come out. Yeah, so 3 different designs, they just keep falling apart. And it's A, I'm not the greatest welder on earth, and B, just the angles that I'm going with and everything, as soon as you put pressure on it, yeah. So I'm figuring it out, still doing that. Next Tuesday, there will be the front end video, and hopefully it's on here going up and down like I promised. This is on for now, but I gotta get it running. So thank you guys for coming back and watching this. This will be a quick one. And yeah, keep coming back, because in the next video, the front end will be going up and down. I had a great design. It just fell apart. So I just got to put it back together. And then the next one, we're going to be throwing the air tank in and the battery box in the bottom and figuring that out, because now I know how much room I have. So I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you guys are having a good day. Peace.